here. We'll start off with this, and then we'll get dates. We're gonna do dates. Dates gate.
But you are literally spitting out straight up APAC talking points. You don't think so? Whoa! Apparently they come in APAC. Because if
the Arabs and the Muslims are atrocious to human rights, I say, as I'm cynically defending the state that is currently doing a genocide. Like, how the what do you mean? What are human rights, dude? What are you talking about? There's no humans to do rights to. Now that Israel's done with it, you know? What the do you mean? I am, once again, telling you, Islam.
the Arabs and Muslims, do you agree with that part? All right, guys, listen, quiet. This is my show. I'm against any kind of loss of human rights, whether it's Muslim people or LGBTQ people, but why does that have to come up when we're talking about the loss of human rights of people being bombed literally right now? You know what that's called? It's called pinkwashing.
It's not only pinkwashing, but it's also whataboutism, and it's also ironic, additionally, because like it's not like Israel is so sweet either on a lot of these issues. What a lot of people don't realize is that like while Israel has presented itself as this like safe haven for women and yada yada yada, and there's like a whole bunch of obvious Islamophobia at play there when you present it as like the alternative to the scary Muslims and forcible hijab wearing or whatever, without recognizing that like the entire region is so different from one another and so diverse. You have to monolithize Arabs and Muslims as like ISIS basically, and then say, look at how good Israel is. And the irony, of course, is even when you don't think about the apartheid in its practical application, Israel itself is bouldering towards, in a way that is not dissimilar to what we are experiencing in the United States of America, straightforward fascism, or had bouldered toward straightforward fascism. Now it's basically in full tilt fascism. That's it. So like when people talk about this sort of stuff, they just like don't realize that so many of the parties in the Knesset are advocating for, you know, women to not be able to read anymore. And they constantly, and then the fact that like interfaith marriage is already a tricky concept in Israel, or even gay marriage, as a matter of fact. It's not an accident that every single LGBTQ member in Israel weirdly flies to Cyprus to, you know, do the thing, and then they come back. Why are they doing that, I wonder? Like, people don't understand that who don't examine the attitudes that is in some of the most right-wing parts of your society. It will inevitably take over the entire project. And it has, right? It has taken over the at this point. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, you could be like, oh, it's just those settlers, just crazy. Come on, chill. What? Oh, why is the government helping them and subsidizing the building operations in the West Bank? That's weird. But like all of a sudden 2018 comes around and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are they trying to abolish the Israeli Supreme Court? Hold on now. I don't like that. And it's like, dude, that's the fascism boomerang, big dog. Okay. What goes around comes around. I know this. We are seeing this in America as well. And we've been living in it in America as well. And people in Israel just cannot comprehend that it's happening to them because they're so firmly invested in that punishment being dished out to the Palestinians that they just like forget that there are repercussions for that. Societal attitudes that have primed you into being a violent, more aggressive society is how you arrive at a guy like Bezalel Smotrich in your cabinet, guy like Itamar Ben-Gvir in the governing coalition. That didn't happen on accident. And it's happening in America right now, too. The parallels are right there. So I hope a lot of Lenists recognize that, you know, and dropping the ball so spectacularly.
Yes, absolutely. pink washing, which is mix your reds and whites in the washing machine, which I initially had thought it was, okay? Which is another very, very big problem we should talk about at another time. I've lost many good shirts to the pink washing, right? This guy knows what I'm talking about, right? The definition of pink washing is exploiting the LGBTQ cause for human rights for a political point, okay? Is it an important issue? Yes, okay? But why does it only come up in the context of talking about why Palestine shouldn't be free? Then why did it come up during a presentation on why Palestine should be free? Because it did. That is pink washing, textbook definition pink washing. If you don't understand why, please, I urge you just to look up the definitions. It's like, oh, look at their track record of gay rights. Check everywhere's track record of gay rights. It is absolute. It is absolute.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to slam that shit basically is like, you know, there's multiple different methods of it. Obviously, number one, it's not like the Israeli bombs are only killing the homophobes. Number two, you shouldn't be killing the homophobes anyway. The entire purpose is to rehabilitate people. Number three, Palestinians have never had a to be able to, you know, advocate for civil liberties for themselves because they've constantly lived under the brutal thumb of Israeli occupation. Number four, Israel itself is obviously not exactly great for gay rights personally, even though they present themselves as, you know, a beacon of prosperity in this region, and that's a whole bit of Islamophobia that's associated with that as a you know, look at how bad they are, look at how good we are type situation. And last but not least, none of this excuses Israel's apartheid nor its genocide. But we have moved away from that conversation when you have this conversation instead. Oh, and my final argument always is when you talk about resistance groups, all right? Like when you talk about the axis of resistance, when you talk about people resisting against Israeli apartheid, when you talk about people resisting against Israeli genocide, okay? There are a shit ton of groups out there. I don't agree with their way. I don't agree with their internal affairs. I don't agree with the way that they operate in general. But I also understand material realities, okay? Just like America was a segregationist, homophobic, anti-women country in World War II, but we still ride for easy company, okay? We don't go, hold on now. I can't believe this racist, segregationist, imperialist, homophobic, you know, nation was fighting against the Nazis. I mean, everyone would look at you and go, what the f*** are you saying? Shut up. I don't agree with the way that America operates. It's okay. You can separate your form of governance from the people that are living under it, okay? I'm lost. Why do I hear one side saying it's genocide, then I hear the reason for all the civilian deaths is Hamas is using as a civilians as a shield? Are both sides true? What do you think? Make up your mind, man. What the f*** are we talking about? The entirety of Gaza is one big crater at this point, and you're still like, the other side keeps saying there's human shields. Human shields. I don't get it. We're 1 year into a genocide, dog. Wake up. Holy shit. Criticizing resistance groups makes under an occupation from the safety of your home makes you the hypocrite. I know. And it's so funny because, like, obviously plenty of queer people recognize that reality. Plenty of queer people understand that. You know, I hate the memes the way we stopped the alt-right before, like we beat Germany. We didn't fight Germany because they were anti-Semitic. We fought Germany because of American economic interests. Yes and no. I think that no, I think FDR wanted that smoke for sure. I will stand on that. No, it wasn't just like economic interest really. Pearl Harbor was the pivotal event that allowed FDR to basically advocate to do this, whereas there was plenty of resistance against it. Nick Mullen demolished a guy who was pink washing. What is this?
You don't think it's weird that all these like new liberals are like very hyper defensive of a religion that hates them?
Now, when you say new liberals, what does that mean? Trans?
It means
people?
they don't read.
Yeah. When you say new liberals, because the word liberals now isn't loaded enough, we'll add the word new to it to imply they're even gay or something. I don't know, like whatever. These people
that is actually
they're even more. If you thought they were trans before, wait until you see these anti-Israel protests.
Yeah.
Because these are the most trans people we've seen yet. And if you sent them to Gaza, they would be. That's what I love when conservatives do that. They're like, yeah, send these kids over there. They'll get killed in a minute, which I think is good, by the way. Which I also think rules.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my only problem with Sharia law is that it's brown people doing it instead of me. That's what I would. And all the things that I hear about them doing, that sounds awesome.
I don't. Okay, all the throwing keg W's. How many times have I said this? God damn. I mean, he's cooking. But yeah,
I think conservatives want that though. I don't think they I don't think they want.
That's the whole premise of like send them to Gaza is like
he said it louder, champ. I mean, it's true.
Want violence,
and of course his delivery is better. I will never be even remotely as funny as Nick Mullen or even Adam Friedland, as a matter of fact.
Acted on these people, which you can just call the police. That seems to be the answer. Is the cops will show up and beat all these kids up. So you already have it here.
I don't know. I feel like me and you see this very differently.
How do you see what?
Well, for one, I don't think. I think I'm a little more trusting of police, maybe naively. But for two, I also think when people, I think there are idiots that say like send them there so they'll get killed. I think that's also like a wrong sentiment. Mm-hmm. But I think in general, it's like they're saying like you're backing a place that wouldn't be accepting of you, whereas like
but that like necessarily assumes that like advocating for like speaking up against something you find immoral is a transaction.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I don't like black people could hate me, they do. Like black people hate me. I'm not going to stand here and be like, well, we should bring slavery back, right? Yeah. If slavery was still going on, I'd say that's wrong. We shouldn't do that. Yeah. It wouldn't matter if black people were like, no, that guy looks like a cool and we want to beat him up. It's like it's still this thing is wrong on principle. Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
That's why I have no problem with people protesting. Like you think something is wrong, you have the right.
Yeah, but it doesn't indicate any kind of like hypocrisy or contradiction that a gay person would protest in favor of Palestine.
No,
just because it doesn't matter what they're doing. Like you can say, oh,
and the inverse of this is also true. It's not like Israel's bombing Palestine because they're homophobic. Like people are always like, Hasan, I'll have you know, Hasan Nasrallah was homophobic. I'm like, is that why they killed him? That's why Israel was like, how dare you be homophobic, Hasan Nasrallah? We're gonna execute you and 500 other people at the same time. You know, no, man. They didn't kill him for that reason. This has it's just a way to make you feel more comfortable about like the guy that they assassinated. Okay. And also the thousands of people that they ended the lives of in that same process.
Oh, well,
I don't disagree with
like you.
I'm just saying, but there is like a
that
nuance
doesn't mean that
there
a genocide should be happening.
Yes. As a Jew, I can't go on
well,
the
that
record
is that. Hold on.
The
But
G word.
That is the nuance. That's the nuance. The nuance isn't like, well, looks kind of like, there's sort of a contradiction here. No, the nuance is that it's like you don't need those people to be, like LGBTQ advocates. Yeah. To not want to see people like, blown up or children.
Yeah, I have no problem with people who are like, I mean, everybody should not want the loss of life on any side. Like that's obviously.
This is also boring, and this is supposed to be a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll find.
But I will say those people deserve it.
Which ones?
Whichever you decide.
I don't. I'd like to get back. There's just maybe a little too much stand-up talk for my taste, and too much. So I think we'll agree. Yeah. Nuke Israel, and then that's sort of where we agree on.
I'll say this to wrap this topic up, but when
I love Nuke Israel, I'm claiming that used to be belonged to everybody, but I'm not.
Before people go clip this and be like, Hasan, I can't believe it. He's joking, okay? He's not being sincere, okay? And white privilege used for good, level the playing field so we can start over. I think my argument is much better than his. I don't agree with Nuke Israel as a position. I just want to be very serious right now. My position, on the other hand, is give the Palestinians an Iron Dome and also air support, okay? Level the playing field. America doesn't give a shit about anything. We just like selling weapons. So why not sell weapons to both parties, okay? That's it. Play both sides. You always come out on top. Give Palestine an Iron Dome. That is the sensible, moderate policy that you can expect from the likes of Hasan Obeid running for president. Okay? Think about it. Give Palestine an Iron Dome. Allow them to have also a fleet of F-15s. Level the playing field. You missed it by a week? Yeah. Oh, the election happened already? Jobs at home and permanent war abroad. Great policy. Work with Pakistan versus India. Yeah. It's called the Thunderdome. All right. You also said give Ukraine an Iron Dome before too. Yes. An Iron Dome for everyone. An Iron Dome for all. Ladies and gentlemen, Medicare for all. We're never getting that shit. You already know we're never getting that shit. That's why I want solutions. Okay? Iron Dome for everybody. Give one to Iran. Give one to Ukraine. Dude. Everybody gets one. Call me Oprah. The way I'm saying, you get a dome and you get a dome. Everybody gets an Iron Dome. Okay? And we just, we just figure it out going forward. And Tamir interceptors. We are making gorillions of Tamir interceptors, okay? Quintillions of Tamir interceptors. We're a permanent war economy. We're only making Tamir interceptor missiles, okay? And we're shipping them to everybody. $85,000 a pop. Do you understand how much money we could be printing for members for people that used to work in the manufacturing industry that lost their jobs? Think about it. Scranton, Pennsylvania, baby. A manufacturing facility in every corner. Americans back to work, making Tamir interceptors left and right. Yeah, call me Nancy Reagan the way I'm giving out Dome. Iron Dome. All right, let's move on.